Tashi Buki Jupsing Meto Cham Lira Lengshi Nende Gyempadi Sangye Shingdu Mikte Uwargi Toku Nanda Shingla Chuparsho Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Kandiratayami Sangye Shirang Toki Chognam La Changchu Badu Dakni Gyapsuchi Daki Jinyeng Gipe Sunam Ki Tolar Benchir Sangye Tuparsho Sangye Chirang Toki Chognam La Changchu Badu Dakni Gyapsuchi Daki Jinyeng Gipe Sunam Ki Tolar Benchir Sangye Tuparsho Sangye Churang Soki Chognam La Changchu Badu Dakni Gyapsuchi Daki Jinyeng Gipe Sunam Ki Tolar Benchir Sangye Tuparsho.
Okay. This teaching is on Lobsang Nyima. It's 14 verses written by Tsongkhapa, who is the founder of our lineage, on the entire path to Buddhahood. What is Buddhahood? In one word, omniscience. A Buddha is an omniscient being. Not like in other religion where beings are thought of as being omnipotent, as being able to take away creating worlds, creating situations, creating beings. Not like that. In Buddhism, a Buddha can teach you how to get to enlightenment, teach you how to get out of your own suffering, but can't take away directly your pain and suffering. Can't take away your current situation. They can teach you how you got into that situation and teach you how to get out of it. This text covers what they call Lamrim. The largest extended text is Lamrim Chemo, which Tsongkhapa wrote, which is over 1,000 pages on the path to enlightenment. Tsongkhapa wrote some 10,000 pages of commentary on every great Buddhist subject. Shakyamuni Buddha, also called Gautama Buddha, he spoke the original teachings. That's what the Tibetans call the Kangir. Then after that, there's what the Indian pundits debated over and cleaned of corruption and elucidated. That's called Tengir, the Indian pundits. And then those teachings came into Tibet, and Tibetan masters tore that apart, and then they did their own commentaries on the sutras. So it's kind of like an onion. You know, you can study the recent translations, and then once you master those, get a little bit deeper. Tsongkhapa's texts usually are very difficult to understand. In the monastery, they'll use Kedar Tempadarges or his students to try to understand where he was coming from, because he was an amazing faculty, an amazing mind. So we started talking about the three principal concepts in this teaching is Nenjung, which is renunciation, Jangsam, which is bodhicitta, and Yang Bakpetawa, which is correct view. We covered a little bit about renunciation, which is kind of like a healthy disgust for the suffering aspects of this life. Generally when people say, but I'm not suffering, I'm having a good time, I tell them, oh, just wait another 10 years. You know, then you'll just live a little longer. Then you can relate. Ken Rinpoche, my abbot in New Jersey, generally said Mongolians get, the truth of suffering somewhere around 70. Because Mongolians live pretty long, and there's a Mongolian community that he was an abbot for, and you would see generally when people get up there, they're like, whoa, what's going to happen next? You know, will I die? Will it be an end to everything? Will it go on? You know, they start thinking about maybe practicing, you know, religion. So this healthy kind of sickness, disgust for what? Generally, there's three types of suffering. There's suffering that needs no qualification. There's like, when you go into a hospital and somebody's dying of cancer, it's suffering. It's suffering by definition. Then there's like change. Things that normally are pleasurable become suffering. A good meal often ends up suffering. Relationships, wonderful relationships, sometimes end up as suffering. That's suffering of change. The kind of suffering of conditioning or pervasive suffering is the suffering parts that you take on as a person.